Today, let me know the transport system in human beings. This is three-dimensional diagram of heart, human heart. Heart is a important organ in transportation in human being, where you can see four chambered. So, human beings have four chambered heart, and the circulation takes place like this. From the heart, from the vena cava, impure blood is collected into the heart and then enters into the lungs for purification. After purification, again enters into the heart and pure blood collected in the heart and then again pumps into the body. Sphygmomanometer is a device used to check the blood pressure. See how the impure blood is transported to the lungs, and from the lungs the blood is collected to the heart. We are going to study the transportation in human being. In the previous class we studied respiration. In the respiration we know how the oxygen is broken down and how energy is released, and how the respiration takes place in absence of oxygen. So that we covered in respiration. Now let me study how the food particles and oxygen is transported in human body. In order to transport the oxygen and food particles, along with that even nitrogenous waste, how these materials are transported? These materials are transported by the fluid tissue called blood. Blood is a fluid tissue which helps in transportation of oxygen, food and other nitrogenous waste from one place to the another place within a human body. Now, what are the components of blood? Blood has main important components like RBC, WBC and platelets. These are the components. And there is a fluid within a blood called plasma. So these are the components of the blood. Now let me know what is the function of RBC. What is RBC? Red blood corpuscles. What is the function of RBC? It helps in transportation of oxygen. How the oxygen is transported? So RBC has a pigment called hemoglobin pigment. One hemoglobin pigment can carry 4 molecules of oxygen. So RBC helps in transportation of oxygen. And what is the function of WBC? WBC means white blood corpuscles. What is the function of WBC? It helps in bringing up defense mechanism. They act as an army. They act as a soldiers to our body. They protect our body from many diseases, from many pathogens. They are playing a major role in bringing up immunity. Immunity system is because of WBC. And platelets. What is the function of platelets? These are the small fragments present in the blood, and this mainly helps in clotting of blood. Platelets helps in clotting of blood, and the fluid present in the blood is plasma. Plasma has a maximum amount of water and proteins, and this plasma helps in transportation of food particles and other nitrogenous waste materials. So plasma is very essential to transport the food materials and nitrogenous waste from one place to another place. And RBC is very essential to transport the oxygen. WBC is bringing up the defense mechanism and builds the immunity. Platelets helps in clotting of the blood. These are the main functions of the blood. So blood is a liquid tissue, helps in transportation. Other than this, what is other components required for transportation? Blood vessels. Okay. What are blood vessels? There are three types: arteries, veins and capillaries. Arteries, veins and capillaries. What is the function of arteries? It carries the blood away from the heart. Always arteries carries the blood away from the heart. What is the function of veins? It carries blood from the parts of the body to the heart. It carries blood to the heart. And what is the function of capillaries? These are single-celled tubular structures which helps in exchange of materials with the cell. It connects to the cell. So this is about the capillaries. Till now we studied what is the role of blood and what is the role of blood vessels, and now we are going to study what is the role of heart. Heart is a very important pumping organ. Helps in transportation of the oxygen. Now, heart is a pumping organ. I said, what will be the size? The size of the heart is one's left hand fist size. So, this is the size of my heart. Now, everyone just fold your fist. Just see your fist. That is the size of your heart. Now, what is the function of heart? Before knowing the function of heart, you want to know how to draw the diagram. So whatever the diagram given in the textbook is 3-dimensional diagram. It's little bit difficult. So what the diagram I'm going to write on the board, it's very easy, 2-dimensional, and you can practice this diagram for your exam. Now let me start. Now take the heart shape into conical shape, and in the center you can have a straight lines and just extend that. You can give right connections here, and we start from here and from, and you give another outline. Okay, next is the center, you just erase it. And then here 2 erases, and here elongated blood vessel. This is the diagram, 2-dimensional diagram of the heart. Now label the parts. Now this is right auricle, this is right ventricle, this is left auricle, left ventricle, and here septum. This is the septum, and this is aorta. This is pulmonary artery. This is pulmonary veins. This is superior vena cava, and this is inferior vena cava. These are the major parts of the heart. Now let me study how the heart undergo pumping action. Now the deoxygenated blood means the blood with carbon dioxide, collects from the body, from our body, from the superior vena cava and inferior vena cava, and that pumps into the right auricle, and right auricle pumps into right ventricle. We just have a open here, right ventricle, and from the ventricle it directly enters into pulmonary artery connected to the lungs. What is the function of lungs? Where the purification of blood takes place, that is carbon dioxide is removed and oxygen is entered into the blood, and that blood is called oxygenated blood, and that oxygenated blood from the lungs enters into pulmonary veins, and that enters into left auricle, left ventricle, and then it enters into aorta. So I wrote aorta in a red color. That means it has oxygenated blood. I wrote here pulmonary artery in blue. Why? It carries deoxygenated blood. So only one artery carries deoxygenated blood, that is pulmonary artery. It is exceptional. Only one vein, that is pulmonary veins, only one category. Pulmonary veins carry oxygenated blood. Rest of the veins carry deoxygenated. So this is about how the heart takes the deoxygenated blood to the lungs, and how the heart gets the oxygenated blood from the lungs to the heart, and from the aorta it supplies to complete part of the body. And again deoxygenated blood collected by inferior superior vena cava pumps into the heart. How many times the blood has been flowed here? 2 times. One collecting deoxygenated blood and circulating the oxygenated blood. Blood enters into the heart twice. Hence it is called double circulation. This is about the human beings. And what about in amphibians? Let me see in amphibians. Amphibians has 3-chambered heart. That means only they have, it is 4-chambered. Birds and mammals have 4-chambered heart, because to keep oxygenated blood and deoxygenated blood separately. This is very essential for birds and mammals, because we are warm-blooded animals. We want to maintain a constant body temperature. We require more energy. Hence, oxygenated blood is very essential. So, 4-chamber heart is very, very essential. In amphibians, they are cold-blooded animals. Even the reptiles, they are also cold-blooded animals. They are 3-chambered. In reptiles, except crocodile, rest of the animals are 3-chambered. So they have 3-chambered, and throughout the body, the blood flows is mixed blood. But still, it is out of danger, because they are cold-blooded animals. They can change the body temperature according to the environment. So here 3-chambered mixed blood is also works with the reptiles and amphibians. And there is one more category called fishes. Fishes has 2-chambered heart, where the blood flows only one time. The blood flows only one time in the fishes. So where the oxygen and carbon dioxide exchange takes place, that takes place in the gills. The blood flows from the heart only once. When it enters at the gills, it absorbs the oxygen, removes the carbon dioxide, and again the blood flows into the heart only once. And the fishes has only 2-chambered. So this is about the transportation by the blood. There is one more concept, that is lymph. What is lymph? Lymph is a colorless blood. What do you mean by colorless blood? There is no hemoglobin. It is almost like plasma with certain water content, proteins and other elements, but no hemoglobin. How this lymph works on human being? So lymph carries the digested fat directly from the small intestine, and it enters into intercellular space of the tissues, and again collected into the lymph capillaries and flows into the lymph nodes. And again come back to the heart. So lymph has a major role in bringing up immunity system. Even it will act as a defense. A major role acts as a defense. It fights against the microbes, pathogens and other foreign bodies, and they helps in killing of these foreign bodies, and hence they help in bringing up immunity system in the human beings. And rest of the information now I will explain along with the diagrams.